NASA says that after weeks of delays, the Artemis II rocket is ready for launch on its historic flight around the moon.
It's a test flight, and it is not without risk, but our team and our hardware are ready. Pending completion of the work in the VAB and at the pad, we are on track for a launch as early as April 1st.
All right, so no fooling. NASA says it's aiming for a launch April 1st. For more on this, we're joined by CBS News space analyst Bill Harwood. Bill, good morning. We heard there also the acknowledgement of risk. Remind us what led to these delays and what you make of the fact that NASA says we're ready for this April 1.
Well, you know, they've had their problems getting this big rocket ready for launch. They've only launched it once before, back in 2022, and they had problems getting ready for that flight as well. This flight was delayed first by hydrogen leaks in the first stage where the fuel lines attach, and then more recently by trouble with a pressurization system that's used in the upper stage. Now, they can't access that stage out at the launch pad, so they had to roll it back into its processing facility, but they've now made those repairs. They've done some other work as well, and they're very confident that the vehicle's ready to go, so they're planning on rolling it out next week.
And how confident are you that this launch will go forward? We always know that any small thing can go wrong at any moment, but considering these delays and the acknowledgement of risk, do you think it's likely that this will happen?
You know, I don't make predictions on this rocket. You know, and pardon me while I adjust my earpiece, I don't make predictions because they've had problems fueling it in the past. All I can tell you is the engineers seem confident that it's going to work this time around. They really do believe they've pounded that problem flat, as an engineer might say. And so it's going to come down to the weather, and are they correct in their assumptions about their repairs? We'll just have to wait and see. But right now, they're very confident.
And remind us of just the excitement around this mission, because it would be NASA's first crewed mission to the moon in more than 50 years. How significant is this milestone?
It's a big milestone. You know, they're as you said, it's been more than a half a century, and they're in a sort of self-declared race with the Chinese right now. They're planning to get there by 2030. NASA sees this as a stepping stone flight. Next year, they're going to test landers in low Earth orbit. And then if all goes well, they're going to launch one and maybe two missions to land on the moon in 2028. So all of these flights are a big deal to NASA.
All right, Bill, always great to get your insight. Thanks for joining us this morning. See you again soon.
Thank you.